Letitia James, busted. James Comey, busted. Hakeem Jeffries, liar. The people that told you Pam Bondi was going to be fired were also lying to you. I never said that because I'm Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Let's get caught up right here. First, we'll do Letitia James. This will be easy.
The office is expected to charge Tish James, the New York Attorney General, with mortgage fraud. And of course, Donald Trump, we all saw it posted on Truth Social in recent days, exhorting his Attorney General to charge both of those people as soon as possible. Again, this is grand juries are secret. This is a fluid situation. It's also important to know, though, that the U.S. attorney, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in this office, Eric Siebert, was essentially forced out last week, in part because he was refusing to bring these cases. We're told that he was opposed to to prosecuting both James and Comey on these grounds.
That's Eric Siebert, and that's part of why he got canned. There's clear evidence against Letitia James for sure on the mortgage fraud. She flat out has her address on 2 different documents. He didn't find it enough. Trump canned him. You're too Democrat. And then he goes to Pam Bondi, provided cover, saying, let's get a new person. And they got a new person, and they went immediately because there's a ticking clock on James Comey. Shout out right now to our first sponsor, Chapter. I'm personally honored to help them on their quest to help millions of you seniors get out of the wrong Medicare plan. What bugs me most is that most seniors never even know that they're on the wrong plan. Here's a message from one of you in my chat. I called Chapter. It was great. They saved me money. I was getting ripped off. Thank you. Great people. Chapter uses their big brain to search every plan, not just the one that makes them the most money, saving seniors an average of $1,100. Guys, you can use the savings to afford a steak dinner again. Here's another real comment from one of you. I called Chapter, and they reviewed what I've said and said I was good. They didn't try to sell me anything. The call is free, and if you're already on the right or the best plan, they'll tell you. So either you get peace of mind or a steak dinner. Just call my pals at Chapter at 631-961-8696. That's 631-961-8696. Tell them Doug in Exile sent you. Watch this.
The full extent of the charges being prepared against Comey is unclear. Joining us now, MSNBC Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian and MSNBC senior.
Look at all these faces. Look at all these ghouls. They look like they're at a funeral. Look at the lady on the right. Oh no, it's the weaponization of Trump. They're going down.
Investigative correspondent Carol Lenig, Chris O'Leary, Ashley Parker still with us. Carol, help us understand the reporting.
So, Katie, we have some sources who say that for several weeks now, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Virginia, and actually in offices that are potentially much further south than Alexandria, have been eyeing ways to indict Comey, and they are getting very much closer. The statute of limits, rephrase, they are arguing that Comey, there is evidence to suggest Comey lied to Congress in his testimony.
Hold tight. I'm going to show you the actual lie to Congress in the next clip, but we'll let her finish up.
Hill in September of 2020. And for viewers out in the audience who may not be legally as nerdy as me and Ken, I'll just say that there's a statute of limitations to charge people with the crime of lying to Congress or perjury, and that's 5 years. The 5-year statute runs this month.
So what exactly is he accused of lying about, Ken?
Don't sweat what they say. I'll show you guys. But we called it. I already told you guys when I did that James Comey one a couple days ago, I go, he is, the statute of limitations are up on Tuesday, so they have to hit him before Tuesday, and we're Wednesday, full 4 days early, but they got him as predicted. Here, this is the actual crime of him. I have him right here. This is a clip from 2017. This is the actual lie he told the Congress, and he's guilty.
There should be no fuzz on this whatsoever. The Russians interfered in our election during the 2016 cycle. They did it with purpose. They did it with sophistication. They did it with overwhelming technical efforts. And It was an active measures campaign driven from the top of that government. There is no fuzz on that. It is a high confidence judgment of the entire intelligence community, and the members of this committee have seen the intelligence. It's not a close call. That happened. That's about as unfake as you can possibly get, and is very, very serious, which is why it's so refreshing to see a bipartisan focus on that, because this is about America, not about any particular party.
But, you know, bipartisan, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger were the Republicans.
So that was a hostile act by the Russian government against this country.
Yes, sir.
In that time frame, there were more than the DNC and the DCCC that were targets.
Correct. There was a massive effort to target government and non-governmental, near-governmental agencies like nonprofits.
What would be the estimate of how many entities out there the Russians specifically targeted in that time frame?
It's hundreds. I suppose it could be more than 1,000, but it's at least hundreds.
Okay, that testimony James Comey knew was a lie. He knew they invented it. Under Barack Obama, they invented all of this information. Enjoy prison, friend. Enjoy prison. Here's a little more detail on it from Ken at MSNBC. Delanian. Former FBI Director James Comey, for years, the target of President Trump's ire, is expected to be indicted in the coming days in the Eastern District of Virginia, where a prosecutor who opposed bringing the case was recently fired. Now, guys, Pam Bondi had to get that prosecutor out of the way. So everyone's blaming Pam Bondi, time to step down. You got to get fired. You're too slow. You're not doing it. No, this is who she had to get out. She fired him. And lo and behold, they hire a new person. Arrests happen. People going like, where's the arrests? Right here, right here. Save this video, send it to your friends, say, I was wrong. I said there'd be no arrest. By the way, this is about Pam Bondi's, about her 3,000th arrest now. 3 sources familiar with the matter told MSNBC. The full extent of the charges being prepared against Comey is unclear, but the sources believe that at least one element of the indictment, if it goes forward, will accuse him of lying to Congress, which we just showed you, during his testimony on September 30th, 2020, about whether he authorized a leak of information. The 5-year statute of limitations on that charge would have lapsed Tuesday. Now let's get to Hakeem Jeffries. This is Hakeem Jeffries says the government shuts down. It'll be the Republicans' fault. I'm going to keep following this story because we're going to find out if the media is going to buy the lie from this guy who looks very nervous.
Today, in the Capitol, ready to get to work.
Hand signals by Gavin Newsom.
Ready to meet with anyone, anytime, any place, in order to avoid a painful Republican-caused government shutdown. We will partner in a bipartisan way to try to find common ground in order to enact a spending bill that actually meets the needs of the American people. Democrats do not support the partisan Republican spending bill because it continues to gut the health care of the American people. Republicans have launched an...
This is painful. What a word salad. Are you guys buying this? It's not even word salad. It's hand salad. Put it down in the comments below. Hakeem Jeffries, hand salad. Wait, here's Caroline Levitt. The Democrats want illegal aliens, many of them violent criminals, to receive free health care. The Democrats want $500 million to help radical left news outfits. The Democrats want to leave dead people on Medicaid and Social Security rolls. So this plays back into that great chapter ad read about how they want fraud. Chapter is going to save you guys from fraud. Call that number, help a guy. It helps this channel out so that criminals can continue to be allowed to receive that payment and steal their money. The Democrats want to cut billions of dollars from our once vulnerable rural hospitals, which we fixed, giving them the largest cash infusion ever. The Democrats want men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, open borders, and perhaps most importantly of all, a 5-letter word, crime. They like it. We don't. And so many other things will destroy America. We cannot let this happen. And finally, we're going to end on a happy note. Here's Trump on Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, who is dumb as a rock, is going around and using as a standard part of her speech on why she lost the election that 2024 was the closest presidential election in the 21st century. Everyone knows this is a lie and was covered as such by Fox News. I won the Electoral College 312 to 226 in a landslide. Counties nationwide 2,600 to 526. A landslide, all 7 swing states, a landslide. And despite the fact that California's fake mail-in ballots came in at a ridiculous numbers, it was rigged, I still won the popular vote by millions. Bush, as an example, won the election by 537 votes. And many other elections were very close, but Kamala's closest in the 21st century soundbite was like everything else in the Democrat Party, a all caps total lie. I expect an apology. Guys, is Trump going to get an apology from Kamala Harris? Trump, he says, thank you for your attention on this matter. And that I love him going over all those stats again, because it shows how hard he beat her. And now he's got the bully pulpit to call Kamala Harris dumb as a rock. That's not an opinion, guys. That's science. Scientists got out their slide rule and their abacus, and they did all their math and did their computations, and it became empirical evidence, in fact, that Kamala Harris is dumb as a rock. I'm Doug in Exile. Shout out to the Quad Club.